Hi there, good evening
Everyone.
everyone. It's Flower Friday with Flowers by Siobhan.
Hi, yeah, I'm Siobhan from Flowers by Siobhan. This is actually my husband. We've ran Flowers by Siobhan now for nearly 10 years, isn't it? So it'll
Wow,
be 10
that
years
long.
in August,
Yeah.
yeah. So tonight we just thought we'd just tell you a little bit about ourselves and give you a few little tips on anybody out there who wants to open a florist. Just how to go about it, really, some of the pitfalls that they
Yeah.
can that you can fall into, and just to give you a few tips on to be a successful florist.
Yeah, a lot of these tips and stuff you can apply to other businesses as well.
Yeah,
We don't know. We're not sure what happened
run
then.
off then.
Yeah, like I was saying, a lot of someone told me once you're able to run a business successfully, or well, success is it's how you measure success. Once you can run a business well, you can apply that to any business really, because business is business. Someone told me once.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm sorry, Sean. I want to say I've got my brother lives in Mexico, and my sister-in-law and my nephew and niece they watch it a lot. So I wanted to say hi Aubrey, hi Ethan, hi Gisela, hi Hannah. How are you doing? Thanks for watching all the way over in Mexico. We appreciate it.
So just to give you some pointers, really. So if you are thinking about opening a florist, these are just some ideas of the things that you might want to think about before going ahead and doing it.
Yeah.
So just again, ahead and doing it.
Yeah.
So just again, a little bit about us. We've had the florist now for nearly 10 years.
Not bad for a pair of 18-year-olds.
I've been a florist for 20 years. So I started at 15, doing a Saturday job. Then did it for 5 years in a florist while I was training, and then went completely a different way, did a different career for 5 years, but still kept my hand very much in it, and still did friends, families, and I concentrated more on weddings.
Yeah.
And that's when we started doing it together, really. And then it got to the point where that was kind our most of my time at the weekend.
Yeah,
and
your
things
spare
like
time,
that.
definitely.
Yeah, and I got to the point where I thought, right, it's time to open our own florist.
Yeah.
And then we went ahead and did it. So just some of the things that we've learned, obviously, in the last 10 years. So the first one...
Siobhan keeps looking down because we wrote a few bullet points down so we don't lose where we're up to.
Yeah. So our first one is learn your trade. So I think that's a really important one to start with, because I think a lot of people go into floristry.
The most important.
Well, it is the most important. Yeah. A lot of people say what a lovely job it is, and how nice and pretty it is, and it is lovely, but it is really hard work as really well. Hard. So I think you need to know what it is you're getting yourself into before you do it. Try and like in my case, I went to college, and a lot of people tend to go to college. They might do just like a full-time course in college and then leave college and then open a florist.
Yeah.
And I think my advice would be that if it is something you want to really get into, is definitely do more work experience in a shop as well as your course.
Almost an apprenticeship kind of in a shop. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you come out if you've not worked in a shop, and the pace in the shop is so much different. So it's so much faster. It's
massively.
You'll have customers queuing out the door some days. You've got to be able to make them products, make them to a really high standard, but also really, really quickly.
And you don't want to be a one-trick pony as well.
Yeah.
We could teach almost anyone how to make a bouquet of flowers. We could teach you that in a couple of hours, but making a bouquet of flowers does not make you a florist.
No, so you've got to, and that's where going to college, getting a qualification as well really comes into it, because you learn, like Ashley said, not only just making hand tied and bouquets. You learn all the things like wiring, kind of the older skills that maybe you don't use as much.
Yeah,
they always come in handy, don't they?
You have to be able to say when someone comes into your shop, or if you've not got a shop, if you're working from home, if someone asks you to do something, you have to be able to say, yes, I can do that.
So because we have quite a lot of people come in ours and say, I want something like for a little flower girl, like a headdress and things like that. And a lot of florists, we've been told recently, have sent people away and said, no, it's not something we do. Now that's because maybe they can't do the wiring and they haven't gained them skills because maybe they haven't gone to college and they have been either self-taught or just done a small course and then opened a business. So so that's really something to think about, is try and do your course, whatever it might be, but alongside your work experience, because the shop, I would say, is more key than the going to college. But then at the same time, you do need to go to college to get them skills.
From my point of view, the biggest thing that I struggled with is making your flowers in front of people. That was a real tough hurdle to overcome. I really struggled with that one.
Because I think you can make a bouquet in the comfort of your own home or in a classroom, but like you say, when you've got 10 customers watching you at Christmas and you've been there for 12 hours, it is a completely different thing.
It's really tough.
And it's your confidence, building your confidence up as well. So working in a florist is really important.
Massively.
But before you even consider, I would say, opening your own business, whether it's online or in the shop.
So let's move on to point number 2.
So point number 2 is if you are going to open a shop, or be online or whatever way you want to do it, find the right area. So like with us, it was a shop, so we had to find the right area to where we wanted to open. And I think we tried to choose somewhere, it was local to us, so we knew the area.
This is the first shop, this is.
Our first shop.
Yeah.
We knew the area. We knew
Hi Samuel again, how you doing, buddy?
We knew some of the other businesses in the area, so we knew we weren't opening right next door to somebody else.
Yeah.
We knew that the business was there. It was a really kind of busy spot. So we have quite a lot of walk-in customers, but then you build up your reputation, and then you get people phoning, and you get people online and things like that. So, Fortnite dude, hi.
Fortnite dude, how you doing, buddy? You all right?
Hi, Thomas. So find the right area. So do your research.
The big thing with finding the right area for me is you see a lot of businesses, let's say hairdressers. You see a lot of hairdressers in the same area. Now, my thought on that is, why go to an area and have part of the business? Why not do your research and go to an area and have all of the business?
Yeah, quite a lot of that business in that area.
Why not do that? It does make sense to do that. I think it does anyway, personally.
Yeah, and then also actually, when we're talking about finding the right area, find the right premises as well, because that is a big difference that it can make. With floristry, you need things like it doesn't matter how big the shop is, because we've got 2 totally different size shops, haven't we?
Massively different size shops, yeah.
But you need things like, you need an outdoor area, which is really important, because you get a lot of waste and you need water to get rid of a lot of water and things like that. So you need to have like a back door. You need to be able to go outside and be able to put your waste outside, get rid of your buckets and things like that. Whereas if you're in maybe a unit and there isn't that, then it'll make it a lot harder for you.
And very, very important when you're thinking of your premises is you need places that people can park.
Yes.
That people can just pull over, run in, grab something and run out. You really have to think about that as well. Yeah. That's really important. My shop.
Hi Simon.
Hi Simon, you all right, buddy? You all right? Are you air guitaring yet, buddy? My shop,
which is in Davie, Manchester.
It's on a one-way road, and it's got yellow lines on both sides, on the other side of the road. And it's a very, very, very congested road, so people struggle parking. But where Siobhan is,
so I'm totally different. So mine has got parking out the front. And a lot of people do say that to us. They'll say, oh, I've come here because it's easier to park. So it is something I think we've even realised since opening our second shop, how important parking is.
Oh, massively.
I think because we're quite well established in the first one, we get a lot of people ringing us up for deliveries and things like that. But with our second one, I think because it was... it is
a very thin... It is Fortnite, dude, you're right. It is a very thin road. It is.
It's a one-way road.
It's a one-way road.
But our second one, parking has been really good for us.
It has been good. We've noticed a difference.
And also at the front of the area of the shop. So always try and find somewhere where you can be able to put things out the front. So you want to be able to either have something small out the front, like bouquets, plants, or have like a big area, but something at least where you're not going to be right on the pavement, so people are tripping over it. You can actually put 100%, something out because people want to know you're open, and that you've got stuff there. So, so that was our point number 2. So we'll move on to point number 3.
This is an important one.
Yeah. So this is
which we found out through experience. This is important.
Which is number 3 is find a good supplier. So obviously, depending on where you are, try and find somewhere maybe close to you, because I think when you're buying flowers, it's a lot easier to buy them if you can actually see them.
Sorry, Sean. Hi Zoe, how are you doing?
So good supplier. So we found just ordering over the phone, you can find you can be ordering products that you don't actually know what they are. So you can ask for a certain, just maybe a rose or something like that, and it can be coming in at a really high price, or the quality might not be as good. So if you've got somewhere where you can actually go to, you can look at the stock that they've got. So you can have a look and you can see what you're actually buying, and get the best prices and the best quality.
When we used to order over the phone or via email, they used to send us older stock as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're getting. So you're hoping that your supplier.
So we have had suppliers in the past.
Will do the right thing and send you the freshest stock, but they won't. 9 times out of 10, they'll send you their oldest stock to try and get rid of it. So you best start going down and picking it yourself.
Yeah. And then also as well, you can see the difference in the prices. So you might have one rose, exactly the same type of rose as another, but the prices are completely different, and that just might mean that at auction on one day before they were really high, and the next day they might have been low, or vice versa, but they're exactly the same. So you'll be able to work out which one to buy.
And you need to find a wholesaler that stocks the correct products as well.
Yes, yeah. So not only obviously fresh flowers, which is what we supply, but then you need to be thinking things like your sundry items. So things like your ribbons, things like oases,
your floral foam.
Yeah, your floral foam. So we found that is a big one.
Yeah.
You can sometimes, if you try and cut corners and go for something of a cheaper, maybe a cheaper make than, let's say, oases, you will find that it's not quite as good. It takes forever to soak up the water. When you go to put your stems in, if you put too many in, it can be quite brittle, or it can break. And also it's quite firm, isn't it? It doesn't.
Well, it comes down to the old saying: you buy cheap, you buy twice. So,
exactly. So we find using slightly dearer products like oases. They really do make a difference when you're actually making your arrangements.
When you're getting a good supplier and you're buying your flowers and you're picking your supplier, you don't always go for the cheapest suppliers, because wholesalers are different prices. You need to find someone who's good value for money and good quality as well,
and have a really good relationship with. Because I know with when I'm ordering the wedding flowers in, there's times when I'll ring up and say, right, I just need you to, can you get these things in? It'll be certain colours and certain types of flowers, and they help us out, don't they? So they'll say, no, actually go for this rose or go for that rose because it's slightly better. So I think having a good relationship with your suppliers is really important.
Massively
because
important.
I'm with everything really, we both are, we really want it to get it right, especially weddings and funerals and things like that. So it's good to be able to pick the phone up and just say, hold on, will this be the right type of rose or type of other flower that we're looking for?
Because there's no point in buying cheap, because all you're going to get is you're going to make your bouquet of flowers with your cheap flowers that are old, and all you're going to get is 2 or 3 days later is people ringing you up saying my flowers have died. So then it's costing you money to refund them, and it's your reputation, and it's
reputation. The big one really. It's keeping that up and then being confident in what you're sending out as well.
Of course it is.
So that is a really good one. Number 3, for you, make sure you've got a good supplier. Number 4, which has made a massive difference to us, is advertising on social media. So I think Ashley is our social media guru, and he tends to do most of our social media advertising.
I personally fought against social media for a long time. I thought it was silly. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought, I'm not doing social media. I was dead against it. But I don't know where it changed. I think I might have read something, because I'm a big researcher. I don't do anything unless I spend a bit of time and research what I'm doing and see if it's worthwhile doing. And I think I started on, was it Facebook?
Yeah. You wanted to get to a couple of likes. Was it 100 likes,
I tried.
200 likes?
I wanted to get to a couple of hundred likes, and I started posting things regularly. And it's a massive tool, but you've got to stay regular with it. You've not to get disheartened with it, and you've just got to keep up with it. Competitions is a big thing. We like to give back with competitions, because without customers and without followers on social media, it's very difficult to grow as a business in this day and age. So give something back.
And engaging people. It's nice. People like to be engaged in it, and
reply to every comment. Well, not every comment you get. Sometimes it's impossible, but reply to as many people as you can. Just reply. Have a conversation with people. But when you're doing your competitions, this is the advice I give to people when they ask me. They say, Ashley, why are your competitions so big on social media? I try and do competitions. Try and give away to a point. I try to give away as much as we can almost not afford to give away. So we don't give away £10 bunches or £5 vouchers. We give away £70 hand tied. We like to really give something back, and it really engages people. If you give away a £10 bouquet of flowers, people will think, oh great, I can probably go and get the supermarket. If you're giving away a £70 bouquet of flowers, it makes people think, I fancy a bit of that.
And I think as well, I found that you feel like you know your customers, you get to know them, because people are on there and they'll comment, and so you start building a bit more of a rapport with your customers. Whereas if you didn't have social media, I suppose you wouldn't really, you'd know your people that were coming in, but people maybe even over the phone, you wouldn't have built up that.
I love that side of it, the social media, the social aspect of it, getting to know your customers, getting to know a lot of them personally through personal messages and stuff. But you really have to take it as part of your business as well. You have to be consistent. You have to allow yourself a part of the day, maybe a bit in the morning, a bit in the afternoon, and a bit in the evening when you sat down watching TV. You have to dedicate that to social media.
It does quite, I suppose when you've got your own business, it is 24 hours.
All consuming.
So like Ashley just said, with having, you're getting messages, we get messages when we're sat there 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And we do sit there replying, we do, because it's constant.
And we do argue over it as well. We do argue over it.
But it's got to be done. It is a big part of our business now, and it's got to be done whichever time. And also putting posts on through the day. So it's remembering, I think, when you're so used to making things, sending them out, you don't think, oh, I need to take a picture and I need to send that out. It's just remembering to take those pictures, put it on, and then people then start to see you and know kind of what you're about as well. And
also post your own work.
And that's one thing I always find when I have brides coming into me. Even if they decided to go with us and I've not showed them any pictures, I'm always very particular about saying, well, this is our work, because I want people to know that's what we do, and that's our standard. And it's a good way to be able to show that. It's a good way to keep all your photos and everything together. So that's our number 4. So we're on to number 5. So a big part of business, obviously, is your account, keeping track of your account. So it's either get a good accountant or maybe go on a business course or something like that.
Course,
so I did a business course, and I did mine through the bank that we originally set up with. So they sent me on a business course, and I found that really helpful.
Yeah.
So it just gave me a little bit more confidence to what I was doing, because it's daunting. You know, you open this business and you think, oh my God, I'm, you know, what was it, only 25, I think, at the time.
Well, you knew how to make flowers, and you knew how to teach me how to make flowers. Siobhan's a great teacher. But running a business is a whole different ball game.
And it was a big eye opener, you know, for us. And it just gave me, like I say, that little bit of confidence to think, right, well, I now know what I need to do. I now know how to keep our accounts. I know how to work out what we're taking, what's going out, have our spreadsheets and things like that. So it just helped me to understand it a little bit better, and also so give us a better idea of business as a whole, and also like to have a good accountant, because I think we've got a really good relationship, and you need to be able to pick the phone up and say, hold on, right, am I okay doing this, am I okay doing that, and just to have that confidence to be able to speak to them.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
And also to have somebody that you actually understand, because sometimes
hi Tara, how you doing?
Where is she? Is that Simon? So have a good accountant that you can talk to and you can trust, because sometimes when you talk to other people, it can just go straight over your head. When you talk about numbers and figures, and you just have no idea what they're talking about.
People like to give you advice, but you need to speak to professionals that know what they're talking about.
And when they give you an answer, you say, right, I understand that answer. You know, so it's really important you get that relationship right.
And if you're uncomfortable with the people that you're working with, don't be afraid to go to someone that you are comfortable with.
Because you have to get it is a big part of business, that side of it. So yes, that was number 5.
We're not going to keep you for too long.
And one last one is prepared to sacrifice. So prepare to sacrifice your time, the hours in the day, your life.
What did you say to me?
So when we first opened, I said to Ashley, are you sure you want to do this now? Because obviously I'd done it before. I'd done it for 6 years. And
I was in security at the time. I'd been made redundant from a job. So I'm one of these people that doesn't like to be out of work. So I'm prepared to do anything to make ends meet. So I took a security job, and I worked maybe 10 miles away from where we opened the shop. So what did you have me do on my lunchtime?
So I used to ring Ashley back to when we first opened the business for the first couple of months. I'd be ringing him back and saying, right, I need this delivery doing, I need that delivery
on my lunch hour.
And he would come back, he would do the deliveries or any buying or anything like that I needed, and then he'd go back to work for the next God knows how many hours, till God knows what time. So
be prepared to sacrifice.
And also I said to him when we first opened about Christmas. So when you're a florist, Christmas kind of takes a little bit of a backseat, isn't it? So it isn't what it used to be. So you work right up to Christmas. You work in 12 or 14-hour days right up to the death of Christmas.
No Valentine's, Mother's Day's out the window. All of the big holidays are out the window. Your holiday season, so June, July, August, now becomes wedding season. Because
obviously you can't book certain holidays because you don't want to miss those weddings, or if you have got weddings booked in, you can't, you can't miss them. So so it's just prepared to sacrifice your time really, and be aware of that before you go into it.
How long have you been a florist? Someone's asking.
So I've been a florist since I was 15, so
6 years.
Exactly,
20 years.
20 years.
I've been a florist for 10 years now.
It'll be 10 years,
10 years I've been doing it for.
So and it does take time to get confident in doing.
Listen, we've done a few pitfalls of things now, but we opened in a recession. We opened in a recession, and it was tough. Then can we say about the babies? Then we went through IVF, and it was tough. Then we had the babies, and they had milk allergies and soy allergies, and it was tough. But despite all this,
You just
we're
have
here.
to, yeah, and you just have to make it. If you start a business and you want it to work, then you just have to make it work. You know,
Do not panic. Never panic when you're running your own business. Put the work in, put the time in, and if you're passionate enough about it, you'll make it work.
Yeah, because I think other people see that as well. They see how much you love it, and I think that reflects in them.
Well, we've had times where we thought, "What are we doing? Why are we doing this?" But we carried on, and we.
Yeah, then first years, which are hard, you think, "Oh, should we be doing this?"
Yeah.
But it has paid off. The hard work.
Yeah, of course it has.
Paid off.
And do you know what as well? We've had great family and friends around as well that supported us along the way.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid to cry on people's shoulders when you have to as well. You know.
So I think that's. I think we've probably covered quite a few things there. So if anybody's got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Just put a comment underneath, and we'll answer your questions.
I'll get to you. Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Good luck. Bye.